firstly, just to introduce myself, my name's Gina Dowding and I'm not so newly elected Green MEP for the North West, and I'm so delighted to be able to use my role to be bringing this conversation today to Burnley about art and soul. What today is about starting a conversation about the role of art, social cohesion and regeneration in Burnley. If we care about social mobility and child well-being, then we need every child to have an arts-rich education. The creative economy accounts for 1 in 11 jobs across the UK, and the creative industries generate £101 billion per annum, making up more than 5% of the UK's economy. It's on that note that I want us to look at what role the arts and culture can have. So Mark is ConArt International's director. As a cultural manager, his work has focused on linking up cultural policies and education, as well as arts and cultural heritage.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for inviting us. We are so happy to be here. What is the base of ConArte? We always put this article of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is the base of this project. So we work with the schools in neighborhoods, in zones of exclusion, social exclusion, usually outskirts of big towns and small cities of Girona County. So at this moment, we have more than 500 students involved in the project through all those schools on the projects of music, which can be orchestra, such as this guy who is playing violin, or ukulele, or the other specialists. So I really love this one. She's working in Sal. It's a small town, 30,000 population next to Girona, where they have 60% of population who is coming from Africa. There are schools, public schools, that have a big percentage, like 95% of migration, people who is new in the city. So they really appreciate the help or the support that arts are giving them to work with this context of interculturality, this connection with training. Anyway, most of our income comes from some grants. We are searching permanently in private foundations, support for arts, social cohesion. I think, and we think, all my colleagues, that arts education and culture has to help the society being more critic, and just this way, in long terms, we can fight for a better world. So in cultural and arts policies, we cannot, or we think that we cannot search for short-term impact. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm really delighted now to introduce Jay Redman. Some of you will already know Jay, I think. He's a Burnley-based visual artist and businessman. Since moving to Burnley 5 years ago, he's been engaged in multiple local arts projects. Jay's work is in a number of national collections and draws on his experience as an environmental and social activist.
Art as a process is an incredibly powerful tool for change, and that's what I really want you to get excited about today. I hate art about the industrial past. I don't want to make any enemies on my first slide, but I really think that art about our industrial past should be left to the tourist board. Controversial. London's contemporary art scene isn't dominated by all the art being about Jack the Ripper or all the contemporary dance being about the Great Fire of London. So why the hell is all the art that's made in the northwest of England about the cotton industry? It's like asking every artist in Lincolnshire to only make art about the miracle of the seed drill. Art is the visual interpretation of culture. It's my opinion. So what is culture? Culture is all the stuff that we do that we don't have to do. Everything in between the things that we do to stay alive. Councils are under extreme pressure to axe arts and culture budgets. I hope I've made that point already. Art can and does enrich our towns on so many levels. And even though the case is not made very well or very loudly, investment in creative activity is a moneymaker, not a money waster. Well, to say there is no cash is a complete lie. The Arts Council has shitloads of cash, we just don't ask them for it. We need to give artists opportunities in Burnley. Commissions locally will attract artistic talent, and the town gradually becomes a place synonymous with the arts. Local people realise that their son/daughter would be able to make a living in the new local arts sector because they can see it on their doorstep. So they stop forcing them to become a dentist or an estate agent and encourage them in their new creative career. Income is therefore generated through production, fees, visitors, tourism. Locally based arts organisations become net exporters of artistic talent as opposed to importers of external professionals. The town is down one estate agent. No one notices. Illustrate the point that art involves, like I say, all of these technical expertise and all of these fabricators, and these fabricators are in this town, and we need to start talking to them, start working with them. Thank you.
Waqar is a senior leader in cultural education at the Hollins School in Accrington. He's been responsible for developing youth-led creative programmes designed to increase and improve arts-based experiences and opportunities in schools, developing young people's skills, confidence, self-esteem and well-being. Thank you, Waqar. Over to you.
So in 2009, we established a program called Cohesion through Creativity. And the idea behind this was to create a platform where young people will have access to cultural education and to make it accessible to all young people from various backgrounds. Because we found that this was not happening. And the idea behind that was hopefully to build social cohesion, develop skills, and improve the well-being of the young people, the communities, and the families that we work with. We found it really arts and culture education in our school, we found that it's had a massive impact. When we started developing Cohesion through Creativity, one thing when we sat down and discussed this program, we didn't want to make it just about race relations. We just found it as a very tired format. But this was kind of being discussed when I was in school. I left in '95. And I was like thinking, why is this still happening? You know, money has been coming in. So where is that development? Where is that kind of social change, where the way we think? It's about not just getting people to think, but think in the right way. But it has to be an organic process. We can't force people to think in a particular way. It's about having that organic process where they're developing that kind of view of the world. How Cohesion through Creativity developed is dictated by our young people and the artists that they work with. We give them a lot of autonomy. Obviously, they have a parameter that they work around, but they dictate how it works. And we found that has really fantastic results because they have ownership of it. Because a lot of it is community-based. Young people create tangible outcomes, powerful content which then goes out there. Here we worked with young men, obviously got them involved in art. A lot of them come from a working class background. We had 5 different nationalities in this project. And what's really important to remember is none of them were performers. They've not had access to quality arts, none of them. So a lot of this was alien to them. And honestly, the outcome has been amazing with that journey. And to achieve this, what we thought was important, we had to get young people working with arts and culture organisations as well as artists. We worked with a lot of freelance artists, worked with a lot of organisations. You mentioned the Whitworth. We're currently doing a project with the Whitworth. So you've got Nick from Mid-Penn Arts. We've done a lot of work with them, Curious Minds. But we've also worked with grassroots artists who are emerging. And that's where the excitement's kind of really happened with some of the projects that we delivered.
Ian raised vital funds to bring the oldest passenger train service in the world into cultural use at Edge Hill. Ian is currently working in Ormskirk to develop new spaces for culture. So welcome, Ian. Thank you very much.
I'm on the verge of starting my 3rd creative space because I love working with creative people, and I really get stimulated when I'm in a room full of people that I can share ideas with and experiences with. And this is Edge Hill Station. It's the oldest passenger station in the world, so the first time that anyone stood and waited for a train was here. I had a conversation back in 2003, actually, the first conversation I had with the rail authorities, Northern Rail, and one or two more. And I just saw the potential for doing something at the station. We could engage with a wider audience. Anyway, we just started clearing out the spaces and just doing some little interventions and working it. And then gradually we secured funding, pretty much all private, and not a great deal of funding relatively as well, about £465,000. We developed the buildings on both sides of the station. As you can see, we kept it really basic. We just made sure that we had everything we needed in there, heating and lighting. I think I've got another picture here. And metal at the time as well was famous for Arga dinners. I know it sounds a bit twee, doesn't it, and everything, but getting past the Arga, we were really keen to get people around the table and around food from different backgrounds, not just artists, from right across the sector of society, really, to talk about life and to talk about the role that art has in their life as well. And it was something I really got to enjoy. But I think that coming together is so important. I think this coming together is so important. I think it's really important that you go away today having met someone new and learning a bit about them, and then, you know, hopefully seeing a reason for you to meet again. I'm just really encouraging you, you know, like there's strength in numbers.
I'm Steffi Jessup. I ran this year's Burnley Literary Festival, and I came along today because I'm really interested in finding out how we can embed the arts all year round, so it's not just one-off events, but we all link up together.
We got an invite through, attended today, didn't know what to expect. I kind of wish I'd dressed up a bit better as well, to be honest. But it's been brilliant. It's just been good to meet some people who've been involved with projects in the local area, to know a bit more about what's going on, to know like what funding's available for projects as well, and essentially what can. I've just got so many ideas now.
Brilliant. So when you say you've been working in terms of that, like, kind of like with people with mental health problems,
the main role for me is in education as well. So getting involved, if I can get like projects set up in schools as well, that's kind of my goal. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for, and I've just been more motivated to do that now as well. So
good. It's really nice to meet.
There's a lot of food for thought, a lot of challenges posed, and I think that's always the way that these events are most rewarding, is when you go away thinking, actually, I need to correct something. It's not just a pat on the back, it's a call to action. I definitely just see the need to be shouting about what we are doing more, instead of, as Jay said about the poverty in this area, not coming from a place of we don't do enough, not coming from a place of poverty, but coming from a place of we already do this and we want to do more, and the community wants us to do more as well.